Hello and welcome to my video. Today I'm going to be giving you an overview of the version 1.2 of OVLoop's OLoop app, the phone app that I've been beta testing for the last few weeks on my Fisker Ocean. I'm going to be going over the changes with this update. So let's get started. So here we go. I have the app on my iPhone 16 Pro Max, and I am going to start it. Just like the previous 1.0 version, this one also has a card that shows up when you start the app, and it has the climate, key, and door lock button up top. For example, here it shows that the car is online and BLE is connected. So I could go in and lock and unlock. Let me try that right now. I press the lock button now. And there we go, it's locked. And now I'm going to show the unlock. Then if you want, you can press climate to do 15, 30, or 60 minutes. So if I click on confirm, it now shows climate is on. You may have noticed that the buttons now have an animation, which is one of the new features to let you know that an action is being performed after you press the button. So it'll have a little animation showing a little spin, and then when the action takes place, that will stop. So I think that gives you a lot more feedback into what the app is doing. So if I press the climate button again, it will turn off, as you can see right here. Then when you get in the car, you press the key button and you're ready to go. Let's go into the dashboard here. And one of the things that is an improvement at the top, it shows your vehicle. And now it shows the correct color for the car as far as the paint goes when you purchase the car. All these buttons on here are the same. We have the climate, key, door lock. We also have the flash headlights. Let me demonstrate that. And you can now see that pulsing with the headlights as it's running. Also, we have the trunk button here. So the lift gate, press that, it opens. Press it again, closes. Let's test the California mode button. By the way, it's only for opening and not closing. So we have California mode in the process of opening. There we go. Let's move on down on the list of things. Another thing I want to mention about California mode is in the previous version of the app, you could activate California mode without being connected to the car via BLE, but the new version of the app requires BLE to be connected. So basically you can't inadvertently press California mode when you're not near the car. That's a big deal since you can't close it from the app. So you have to basically be in BLE range to use that feature. Further down in the app, we have on the left here the HV or high voltage battery status showing it's 93%, 259 miles remaining. Next to that, we have a new low voltage battery status box that shows the voltage currently at 13.1, state of charge 98%. Also, a state of health showing 76%, which for my battery was installed about 8 or 9 months ago. Gives you kind of an idea on that. Below that, we have the Cabin climate temperature is 53 degrees Fahrenheit, and the odometer is 24,053 miles. At the very bottom, we have the location. You can open that up in the map. It'll show where your car is. If you park it, you can find it. So very handy to have. Another new feature at the bottom, it shows the car software version is OS 2.6.0, and also the PKC version is listed as well. You may have noticed that the app itself is dark. So the new feature is dark mode. So if I go into the settings in the top left here, press that. In addition to the imperial and metric for measurements, we also have the dark mode button. So if I click on that, it shows on, off, or system. System is basically auto. If you want to have it turn to light or dark, depending on what your phone does, you can click on that button. So I like dark mode, so I'm going to just leave it in the on position. Another thing that's in that settings menu at the very bottom, you have the version of the software, which is 1.2.0, release 158. So that's the app version, so you always have that if you need it. If there's an issue with the car that you ever need to unpair the app from the car and repair it later, you can do that now. You have the unpair button there, and that allows you to do that. Also, you have the need help button here. There's a support@ovloop.com that you can send any problems or feedback to. And the last thing on this page is the logout button. If you want to log out of the app and restart it, if you notice that something funky with the app is going on, sometimes logging out and logging back in may fix it. Also, if you ever have any issues with the app, I find to do a force close on the app and restart it usually fixes any issues that I see. So let's go back into the startup screen right here. Some additional things that you don't immediately notice visually is that there is improved BLE connectivity that allows the app to remain connected while running in the background. Also, you can automatically wake up the ocean when the app comes into the foreground. So that's very handy to have. Previously, that was not the case. You had to either do the door lock button or use the flashing of the lights to turn the car on. So this greatly enhances the usability, I feel, and also makes the climate mode button here for preconditioning work even faster. So after using the beta for the last couple weeks, I've definitely seen improvements in the connectivity, especially with waking up the car and using the preconditioning, as well as using the key button when I get in the car, as well as the door lock and unlock button. That makes this app much more responsive than it was previously. So just that improvement right there makes this version a worthy upgrade in my eyes. So those are the things that have been listed as changes and updates to the 1.2 version of the app. What I look forward to is seeing when we get PKC 22, what additional features that's going to add to the app. So stay tuned for a future video when we get the new PKC version. I'm excited to see any of the improvements that will be coming our way. Also, if you have any ideas, things that you'd like to have in the app, put that in the comments section and I can forward that to OVLoop and make those suggestions for future improvements. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.